RepairsUniverse.com. Today we will be replacing the charging dock port assembly on a Samsung Galaxy S6. The tools needed to complete this repair are plastic triangle opening tool, a small Phillips screwdriver, plastic opening tools, nylon spudger, a SIM card ejection tool, a pair of fine tip curved tweezers, an iSesamo, and a multi-purpose heat gun. Begin disassembly by shutting down the device and ejecting the SIM tray using a SIM card ejection tool. Use a heat gun or a blow dryer to heat around the edges of the back cover to soften the adhesive beneath. Insert an iSesamo into the seam between the midframe and the back cover and pry the back cover free. To separate the two halves of the midframe, we will remove the 13 small Phillips screws from around the device. We'll heat the top and the bottom of the LCD. We'll then insert an iSesamo into the seam between the LCD assembly and the midframe. Once we've developed a small gap, we can switch to a plastic opening tool to pry the two halves apart. Use a nylon spudger to disconnect the battery from the motherboard, and pry the battery from the adhesive holding it to the back of the LCD. We'll disconnect the ear speaker using a nylon spudger, and disconnect the LCD, disconnect the interconnect cables, and the home button. Lift the motherboard from the top of the LCD assembly and disconnect the dock port assembly from the bottom of the motherboard. We'll now heat the LCD frame from the LCD. Ensure ample use of heat as the LCD is well adhered in the frame. We'll insert an iSesamo into the top corner of the device. We'll pry slightly to create a small gap. We will reheat as necessary. We will insert a plastic opening tool into the seam. Here we're using a triangle opening tool to try to pry the frame from the back of the LCD. We're working very small sections at a time, using a combination of tools and heat. Work in very small sections at a time, and reapply heat anytime you feel resistance. The LCDs are fairly fragile. Once we have the frame mostly lifted from the LCD, use an ice-Asimo to ensure that the touch keys are not stuck to the back of the LCD. Remove the one small Phillips screw from the headphone jack. Use the fine tip curved tweezers to pry the touch keys from the frame. The back key is folded under the frame, while the recent applications is folded around the side. Pry the dock port flex from the frame. Free the home button ribbon from the back of the frame. Lift the home button, and then feed the flex through the hole in the frame. Feed the home button flex through the hole in the frame. Turn the frame over and readhere the flex to the back of the frame. Seat the dock port flex, and install the one small Phillips screw back into the headphone jack. Fold the recent application and the back keys over the frame, and then re-adhere them to the front of the frame. We've laid new adhesive on the LCD frame. Remove the backing to the LCD strips. We have also laid adhesive along the edges of the LCD. Remove the backing from those strips as well. We will feed the LCD connection through the frame, and then re-adhere the LCD to the frame. We'll reconnect the dock port assembly. Reconnect the LCD and the ear speaker. Reconnect the home button and both interconnect cables. Re-adhere the battery to the back of the LCD, and reconnect the battery to the motherboard. We'll insert the bottom half of the LCD assembly with the charging port connection into the midframe first. Then we'll press the LCD assembly into the midframe, and we'll replace all 13 small Phillips screws. Here we've laid new adhesive around the edges of the midframe. Remove the backing strips from the new adhesive. And re-adhere the back cover to the midframe. And finally, reinsert the SIM tray. And there we have another successful repair by RepairsUniverse.com. All of the parts and tools used today are available at RepairsUniverse.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.